Okay, so I'm gonna download this. I'm gonna take you into Figma, and you are going to help us with an explanation. Are you there, Faith? Can you hear me?
Sir, I didn't hear you clearly, sir.
I said I'm gonna download this and bring it into Figma. So I'm gonna share my screen, and you're gonna help us with a quick explanation.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah. Screen is still loading, just so a few minutes. Okay. Mr. Kingsley Idom, Mr. Samuel, and Miss Mary Jane. Can I get an update on on your assignments? Can you all hear me? Waiting for your feedback, please. Mary Jane, Samuel, Kingsley, what's the update on your assignments?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. For my own end, what really happened to my laptop was that I downloaded speak I downloaded VS Code on it. Then my laptop just off.
Sorry,
I
I didn't get
downloaded,
that. You said you downloaded what?
I downloaded VS Code into my laptop.
Sorry,
The,
what's VS Code?
that VS Code the for front end. So as soon as
I'm
I
I'm
downloaded it to
I'm lost.
my
I'm
laptop
lost.
just off.
Sorry, I'm lost, sir. I'm not clear. What is VS Code?
I mean the app we use in front end uh, class. That app.
We don't do front end here.
I'm just trying to explain how I was unable to do my assignment because I have to do with my laptop. I always complain about my laptop is not working. Even the
Okay,
one I'm using here is my office laptop, but I cannot download any app on it. I only use it for the class.
okay, sir. You did not do the assignments. That's the conclusion of the whole
Yes, sir.
explanation. Okay. Mr. Samuel,
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
good evening.
Yes, sir. On my own part, I've not done the assignment, but it was due to the fact that I was not really chanced this last few weeks.
Mr. Samuel,
Yes, sir.
you did not do the assignments.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mary Jane, Miss Mary Jane, can I hear from you, please? Okay. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Faith, are you still with us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what you shared with us. Okay. I have questions. I'm trying to let's remove the other stuff so that they don't distract us. Okay, let's focus on this now. Mm. Okay. Faith, can you walk us through what you have? It's not quite clear.
I just okay, the home page for the e-commerce app here. So I started with this three. I don't know if you can see that three
Over here.
let's say yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the ones that usually show when you open, is there any website or an app.
Okay, so it's called a
So if
menu.
you maximize it to bring some other options. So it is the
Yeah.
one that is at the other page, the second
Okay. It's
page.
called a menu bar. It's
Okay,
called,
menu bar.
yes, this is specifically called a
Oh,
hamburger menu bar. Oh, I'll get to explain that much later in the future. But that is called a menu bar. Okay,
okay,
so proceed.
okay. Then we have the logo with the name
Okay.
of the business. Then the second line, that's the search button. That circle that I wrote something inside. A
Okay.
search button, just a search button. Then something like a search bar. So inside it you can just show something like search for products, services, and whatever, whatever.
Okay.
Um, also, okay, sorry, I cancelled that part that was there.
You
It's
cancel
quite
this
well.
one.
Yes, 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 yes. So
Okay.
I put new
So
arrivals,
what of
fashion,
this
home
one here?
appliances. Yeah, I didn't cancel. I did cancel it. They are like another set of
Okay.
yeah. So I put new arrivals, fashion, home appliances, medicals, furniture, and like a lot, such that you can swipe through that part and you see
Okay.
a lot of a series of options.
Okay.
Then we have the trending searches, like the products that people are actually let's say that ordering or something. So that's why I put different products, something there. Then under it, latest collections, like um the updated products by sellers. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's like a summary of what is there. Okay, the other page for the menu bar, how that you can access just for easy access, you know, to the product. But I'm just thinking that once you, although I didn't have it there, but once you click on that product specifically, it can bring series of options, just like we have in the beginning. Um, New arrivals, fashion, home appliances, medicals, furniture, anything. So
Okay.
then we have services, such that it is not only products that the app offers. So they also offer services like tutoring services, maybe architect or stuff like that. Then the cart parts, such that you can view all the products you added into your cart, how to pay, and all that too. So in case they also complain or maybe unresolved order, that was what I put underneath that card, such that they'll be able to um let's say a message maybe a customer
Okay.
provider or something. Then the last part, which is the user, starts to get details about yourself in case you want to edit some information, maybe your address, your phone contact, your email, or something. I think that's a summary, sir.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Quick question. How did you make your research for this?
I went online actually. I searched for e-commerce app, but I just saw something. I checked through others, so I just decided to use something like this.
Okay. There's no, so you didn't use a specific app you didn't
No, I
understudy a
didn't use.
specific app.
No, I didn't use it specific.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I'd applaud you for what you've done. Although there are some things that, for instance, the menu bar you have, y- you are your design is more looking like um what's it called? A mobile web version rather than an app. Now, the difference between the two is this. If you want to open Jumia, for instance, using Chrome on your phone, you go to Chrome browser and then you type www.jumia.com. You can get to access it from Chrome. You can also get to access it via the Jumia app installed on your phone. So you can access Jumia 3 different ways. Either you use the mobile app on your phone, you use Chrome browser installed on your phone, or you use Chrome browser or any other browser you like on your laptop or your computer. So the difference between the browser on the phone and the browser on the computer is the screen. The browser on the computer gives you that website on a PC screen, that's a personal computer screen, while the browser on your phone give it to you on a mobile screen. So where you have the hamburger and all of this information popping out is almost what you would see for, it's almost what you would see for, what's it called? For when you browse websites through a mobile browser rather than the app. Okay, so just hold on. If it were to be, what's it called? If it were to be on the app, the Jumia app, you would notice that aside from Jumia app, many applications, you notice that applications used to have navigation bars at the bottom of the screen. So if you check your phone, if you check apps on your phone, you notice there's always a navigation bar at the bottom. That navigation bar, you're able to see how to navigate to different places, something similar to this. And then your cart is not so much in a very positioned place because your cart is under the menu bar. When designing an e-commerce product, e-commerce application, one of your most pronounced feature that should be at the face of the user should be your cart, such that the cart should be hanging somewhere on your screen, so that once the user is adding product to cart, the cart is counting and beeping, or it's either beeping or is counting the numbers, telling the user you have so and so items in your cart, such that the user can take a quick action rather than having the cart hidden in the menu bar. So these things are psychological effects of being a UX designer. I told us that as a UX person now, you need to understudy how the app is supposed to best function, how users are supposed to adequately relate with the application. So I want to I want to check something. Just hold on. I'm trying to navigate on something on my computer. So, um, okay. Just hold on. I'm trying to get something that I'll be used to show you specifically what I mean. Mm, So I want to bring up one e-commerce app and I'll copy it to our dashboard so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, found one. Are you there? Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see this e-commerce application. Let me reduce the screen. Put this by side. If you look at this e-commerce application, if you notice, look at the top. Now, your top, I'll reduce it more. Your top is having the logo of the brand. Like I said, what you were designing was almost the web version and not a mobile app. Because once you check a website, let me share my entire screen just so that I can explain this thing more better. I can't open Jumia on my phone, but I can try to. Okay, so I'm going to copy, I'm going to screenshot. I'm going to screenshot and I'm going to paste. I think that'll be better to do. Let me screenshot and I'm going to paste. So just hold on. Copy and delete. I'm going to paste it here. Screenshotting from my phone. Yep, it came up. Okay. So this is Jumia. This is Jumia app. Let me screenshot Jumia web browser. So this is Jumia app installed on my phone. Let me take Jumia web browser on my Chrome. Let me open Jumia on my Chrome. Now you see the difference between both of them. How an application is supposed to show on a device. Now, I'm going to use same size, same width size. Okay. Let me put text. Call this web browser. Use the size to and I'll call this mobile app. Okay, so this is the same product from the same owners, but on different this thing. Now, if you notice, this one is on the web browser. So I use Chrome on my phone and I typed Jumia.com. This is what came up. But when I opened web browser on my phone, when I opened Jumia on my phone, okay, let me use the exact, just hold on, give me a minute. Because I noticed here I was searching for something. So let me not search. Let me just use. Okay, paste. It's pasting. Just give me a minute. Yep, it has pasted. Okay. So now I've been able to open the same this thing, the same page on both devices. Now, this is web browser. I went to Chrome and I searched jumia.ng. This is the mobile app. Now, if you notice two of them, there's a significant difference. Just like what you've done, you have the hamburger menu bar, and then you have the logo. Here, you have the menu bar, you have the logo. This is the web browser. Now, the reason why when we design on web, we try to put a logo is because this browser name can be opened anywhere at any time. And then when it's opened anywhere at any time, the user that is viewing the screen, we need to put a pronounced identity to the product that the user is seeing or interfacing with. Whereas on the mobile app, you already have the app installed on your phone. So you have full idea of what this app is. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the web browser, the mobile app, if you see both of them, this one has the hamburger, the menu bar, the name. You could see the what's it called? The user, which you put under the menu bar, was brought out, in this case, the cart. Regardless of this or this, the cart is something that needs to be pronounced when you're making. So now the fact that you put your hamburger and your logo here, it's not ultimately bad. It's not bad. It's good. So like I was saying, this is for web version, this is for mobile app. Every other thing down the screen, if you can see, they're exactly the same. Now, if you look at the top of this guy, this one does not have the cart, or the user has this other one have. This one has nothing. We just started with the search bar, search on Jumia, blah, 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 because it's the mobile app. But if you scroll all the way down, I was talking about having the menu bar below. So for this one, you would have needed to click this menu bar that is over here to bring out the menus as it is on this aspect, like you've designed. But when it comes to mobile app, we try to give the user a more personal feel. We're not trying to, because on web browser, for instance, you see you have all this stuff at the top, jumia.com, blah, blah, blah. At the bottom, you have to go back. Now you have navigations of going back, coming front, open a new page, see how many pages you've opened, all of those things. But on the mobile app, everything is clean because you are not using a third party. This is Chrome, so I need to check how many pages I've opened on Chrome. I need to open a new page. But on the mobile app, you have freedom of having your own personal screen. So instead of having all these things packed up under a menu bar, you then have to bring out your menus and have your designs have your designs well prominent. So yeah, you see the home, you see categories, you see cards, you see wish list, you see account, just as if you would have clicked here to find all of those information. So I'm just trying to say that what you've done is good, but it would be good for you to be sure of what you're designing. Are you designing a mobile web version for a mobile screen, or you are designing a mobile application such that you go to Play Store, go to Apple Store, you download the app, you install the app. That's when it shows this way. It needs to be clean. You have freedom. You don't need to start hiding things under the menu bar. Sometimes, even when you want to introduce a menu bar, in most cases, introduce a menu bar below, but just put extra three dots. If in any case you want to put something at the top, like the logo, what we most prefer to put is like an account. You put the user's icon, the username, you give you creative freedom to make it personal. I'm going to give you another example. Let me find another app that seems to be much personal. Let me show you what you can do at the top. Mobile app. Okay, let me find something. Okay, I've seen one. Just trying to load. Yep, it has loaded. Let me find another one that has like a text to it. So let me see what these guys did. Okay. This is an example. Though it's very blur, it's not working. Let me try. That guy is extremely blur. Let me try and get a higher version of it. Just give me a minute. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so I have something better to use to explain that. Okay, so if you look at this design, this is a mobile app. You see the freedom of having the image of the user more like a profile. So when they click on that, it takes them to their account, and then you see the liberty of using text. A mobile app has a more personal feel. You see, hello Martha, let's take care of your skin. It has a more personal, and if you scroll down, you see the same thing I was talking about. It has a menu bar. Its own bar is well pronounced, open. You don't have to talk everything in one place. So all the same, well done. That's uh, it's a very good thing you've done. Very good. Okay. So what I really want to teach us today, for the next few minutes that we have for every one of us on the call. I want to explain some things, and I'm going to be showing it on my screen as I'm explaining. So today I want us to learn the difference between, because I noticed that I've done a little bit of showing us things that we have on the screen and on designs and all that. So with the little we've learned, I want to explain some things in details. So today, what we're going to be looking at is frames, layout, and alignment. Those are the three things. I know we've talked about that briefly while we were designing these things down to, I told us I was going to teach us also how we come about um how we come about having to put up your typography in your what's it called in your design, how to set this up. So I need to start explaining those things one at a time. So the first would have been talking us through giving us an example. We see an example now. A walkthrough of Figma, but I've done that in time past, so I will not do that again. Start explaining every button and everything. I will not do that. Take the liberty of going to watch the video that we have. So today, I'm hoping by the end of this class, you should be able to understand the difference between a frame and a group. You should be able to align, to be able to apply alignment to you should be able to apply alignment and spacing correctly. Alignment and spacing. You should be able to apply alignment and spacing correctly. You should be able to use layout grid to structure designs. So, but we'll take it one after the other. Are we together? Hello, are we together?
Yes, sir. We are together, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So by definition, a frame is a container that holds your design elements and represents a screen or selection. I'll take it again. A frame is a container that holds your design element and represents a screen or section. A frame is a container that holds your design element and represents a screen or section. So, I told us initially when we were walking through first instance of frame that the button we have here is the frame button. If you want to use a shortcut, you can as well tap the F key on your keyboard. If you tap the F key, your icon changes. If you notice this icon that's dancing and moving around, once I tap my F key, it changes to a plus sign. So what it's trying to tell me is for me to create a frame. Now, if you notice, the name of what I just created gave itself an automatic name, frame 7. That happens to be that this is the 7th frame I've created across this design. If I create another one, it keeps counting like that, frame 8. So a frame, like I said, is a container. And the main purpose of the frame is to be able to hold your design elements. If for instance, we designed this screen. Let me copy this and put this here. We did design this screen a while back. If I remove the frame we have on this screen, can you see what this design has turned out to be? The design now looks displaced. It looks it happens not to be coordinated. It's not, it might look arranged, but you can't tell it doesn't look organized. I don't know if that's the right word now. It looks arranged. I've arranged every from the top, you have the logo, you have images, you have text, but it happens not to be in a container. That's the right word. It happens not to be in a container. All your design elements being in a container gives it uh um gives it a distinctive understanding. It helps us to distinctively understand what that design is for. So if I just see these, I might not be able to grasp on an instance what this designer was trying to achieve. But once I see all of these in a frame, in a container, I'm able to see that, oh, this design actually happens to be for a mobile screen. It happens to be for a mobile screen. Then I can then go further to say, okay, what exactly was designer designing here? I look. I say, okay, this is a sign up or sign in page for a mobile screen. So a frame happens to be a container that holds what you do. So I said that the frame is a container that holds design elements and is used to represent a screen or a section. Now, I'm going to explain what I mean by screen. I've explained what I mean by screen. So this is a frame standing as a screen. I'm going to explain what I mean by section. Now, if I come into this design, remember when we're putting these images and all that, if you notice, if I highlight my mouse on the images, you see a square. Is it a square now? Yeah, it looks more like a square that just hold on. So you see like a square around all sides of the images. It seems like that thing is telling me to what extent are these images attached to each other. So over here, what we have is a frame, but in this term, a frame is used as a section. It is used to put this group of what is it called? Group of shapes, group of elements together. So if I bring this out, just hold on. Trying to put it back. So let it look this way. So you see now, if I bring this out, you are able to see that the frame is holding all of these guys in here. I can go further to then start moving each of these elements that I have in this frame. Now, the good thing with having these things in a frame is that I can, one, either get the opportunity to make adjustments to all of the elements at the same time. I can make adjustment to all of, sorry, I'm almost done. Yeah. So I can, you see in this context that a frame can be used to represent a screen, can also be used to represent sections. Now, if I want to explain extensively how that a frame can be used to pile up group of designs together and categorically fit in to naming couple of sections together, Now, remember when we did these designs here? We did splash screen designs, we did this design, we did that design. Sorry, give me a minute. Let me unmute my mic. Just hold on. Okay, I'm back, guys. My power went out. I had to go sort that. So I'm turning back my desktop so I can share my screen back. Just in a few minutes, I will be up for that. Just a few minutes. The app is almost fully opened. Okay, I'm having issues signing in back from my other. Let me try that again. Okay, so I think I'm back in now.
Recording in progress.
Okay, can you hear me? Are we still here?
Yes, sir. I can hear
Okay,
you, sir.
so sorry about that. I'm gonna share my screen again. Okay, so we're talking about frames. So I said that a frame can be used to represent a screen or section. So I just showed us how that you could gather tons of elements and group them under a frame. Now, but specifically, a frame can be used to section couple of screens, just like what we've done here. So still under the menu where you have your frame, you can click on the arrow by its side and you see frame, you see section, which the shortcut to it is Shift S. You can use that to section couple of designs, couple of elements together. So I can group all of these together and give this section a name and give it a name. So now the good thing with section, just like as it is with frame, is that it provides coverage, more like a container for group of elements. So if one sees my design here, the person can tell that all of these designs, all of these screens at the top here are for splash screen. And move down, all of what you have here is for login and sign up. So a frame, I say for the last time, is a container that holds your design element and represents a screen or a section. So think of a frame like your phone screen. That's in aspect where I was talking about a frame like a screen. Think of it like a phone screen. Everything you design must be inside a frame. Everything you design must be inside a frame. The frame is the container. Everything you are designing must fall into the frame. You must not have elements coming out of the frame. Everything you design must be inside the frame. And when we're having the class that time, I did show us how that you can make the edge of your frame. I'll do that shortly, just hold on. You can clip the content, you can clip the frame and clip the elements that are around the frame to make them visible or not. So now, like I said, that a frame is a container. If you see this frame, all of the assets or elements that we put in this frame are hidden. The frame provides a container for it, but I can make this container invisible. If I click on the frame, I come down to our property aspect here, and then I click on where you say clip content. Under layout, I click on content. Now it's ticked. So it shows that the content that are in here are clipped. I can't see them out. If I click on this to unclip them, you see, what now happens is that it still gives you the line of the frame, but then you can now see the content that are clipped inside. The excess part, you can then see every other thing that are inside this frame. So as it stands now, we are seeing inside the frame other things that are not at the center of it. So I'm going to clip it back so it will hide all of that. Okay. Now, the next we would look at, and just also I say this on the frame aspect. I've also said that whether you are designing for a computer screen, a phone screen, whatever screen whatsoever, you represent your screens by frames. And I said that frames, Figma has given us some list of devices that we could select from that will give us a proper screen sizes of those devices. So like I said, we have phones, we have tablets, we have desktop, and so on. You know, we have wristwatches, social media, blah, blah, blah. So once we click on any of these, for instance, MacBook Air, if I click on this, it will create a frame for MacBook Air, automatically telling me this is my screen size container. This is my frame container. This is the container in which I'm supposed to design my elements that are supposed to fit the MacBook laptop screen size. So it's very good for us to know that. Now, secondly, I said that today we're looking at frames, we're looking at layout, we're looking at alignment. So I'm going to rush up a little bit. Secondly, I'm going to talk about group, because there's a difference between a frame and a group. For instance, if you look at these elements that we have here, they're all inside of a frame. But now if I duplicate this element and I remove the frame, now if you notice, this one has frame 8, it shows that it's inside a frame. Whereas this one, there's no frame on it. I'm moving my mouse around, it's not highlighting as this one would have done. Now, this one gives me the opportunity. Hold on, let me clip this. Now, this one gives me the opportunity to be able to select my frame, my stores individually. They are not framed now. Whereas for this one, if I take anything out of if I take it above the size, the designated size of the frame, like I showed us about clipping content, it hides as elements that are not in the visible part of the frame. So what happens to it is that it becomes hidden. That aspect of it becomes hidden. If I try to bring out an element from this frame, I'm going to take the element and pull it out. If I pull an element out of a frame, okay, let me change this frame's color to something relatable so that you don't just see empty. Yeah. So now this is a frame. So if I take this element and I shift it to the side, I'm able to see that this element is being tucked into the side of this frame. If I click on the frame and I undo the clip content, I'm able to see where this thing is. If I clip the content back, it's hidden. Now, if I decide I want to pull out this element from this frame, I'm just going to click on the element and drag it out. I'm going to hold on it and bring it out of the frame for like 1 milliseconds, then it comes out, then I can leave it. But if I don't want to pull it out, if it's still inside of the frame and I just want to tuck it in, I'm just going to be adjusting it gradually. Going to ensure I don't pull it out. Just going to adjust it gradually. When it gets to the edge, I can use my arrow key to move it in, and then it's tucked in. So now what I'm trying to explain to us here is that I'm trying to give us the difference between a frame and a group. On the other hand, yeah, a group, let me put all of these guys back together. On the other hand, a group is a collection of elements treated as a unit, but without layout control. So for the frame, you can see that the frame it provides a layout control for all the elements that are in it. The group, I can say, okay, the pick color that I want behind my frame should be purple or blue. I can set any color that I like. try to give you something unique. But when it comes to a group, if I click on all these elements and I say, okay, I want to group them together, just the same way you use on many other digital application when you say Control G. So I want to group, and I say, for me, I use Mac, so I'll say Command G. Now, I've grouped these elements together. Now, these elements are grouped, but unlike the frame, I can't modify the layout which these elements are framed to. For this one, I can't modify the layout which these elements are grouped to. So a group is a collection of elements treated as one. Anything I do to this thing, let's say for this one, I kind of added an image. If I come to this one, I say I want to add an image and I click on this. You see what happens? It's going to be treating all elements as one. I said that a group is a collection of elements treated as one unit, but without layout control. They are all treated as one unit. So if I want to use this, for instance, and I say, okay, this is the guy I want to use, and I click on this. Hold on. So it picks everything. It picks one out of all of them. Let me go back. I cannot, except I need to ungroup to start making singular adjustment to them, or I would need to select them individually. So let's say I select this one, I come to this one, I select this one, I come to this one, I select this one. Other than that, if they are as a group, so a group is just for moving things together. Frames are for designing structure. Let's look at it that way. A group is, okay, I have all this collection of things. I want them to be together while I'm using them across my design. So a group is just for moving things together, moving elements together. Whereas frame, on the other hand, is for designing structure. So now, key difference between group and a frame. Key difference between a frame and a group. With a frame, you have layout control. With a group, you do not have layout control. With a frame, you can resize responsively. With a group, you cannot resize responsively. What I mean by resize responsively is this. If I click on these guys, let's say I want to put this frame or this group into what we have here, or I want to change the size. Let's say I want to change this. I want to make it slightly wider. If I click on the frame here and I extend it, you see what happened? My element that I put inside the frame happens not to be changing. It maintains my element, but only make adjustments to the container. So I can do this. Say, I want to reduce it. I want to expand it. I want to reduce this. I want to. Now you understand and appreciate this frame better when you start creating components. So you see this. If I want to do that for a group, if I do this and I click on it, see what happens. It treats all of these as a single unit, and then it begins to drag them around, expand them beyond their initial size or their original size. So a frame can resize responsively. A group cannot resize responsively. A frame is used for screens. A group is used for quick organization. I want to quickly organize things together. I want to quickly group things together. So I want to believe that we captured that very well. I want to believe we captured that very
Yes,
well.
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
give
sir.
me a minute. So I'm going to take this last one and then we'll continue on this tomorrow. So the last one I'm going to take is alignment. 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 Alignment is arranging elements. So I said we're going to be doing, what did I say we're going to be doing? Frame, layout, and alignment. Frames, layout, and alignment. So I'm going to come to layout much later. I've explained layout to us extensively. I'm not even sure I'm really going to touch layout, but let me come down to alignment first. Alignment, like the word alignment means, alignment is arranging elements so that they line up clearly and consistently to align something. So in while we're designing in UI UX, while you're designing UI, it's very good to know how to properly align your element, your space sizes, all of that will provide structure to your design. Space sizes and the rest, they're going to provide structure to your design. For instance, if we had this our design, and this our design happened to be something like this. If it happens to be something like this, it's going to be almost very difficult to read. Or we have our design like this. This one is here. 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 The design doesn't look aligned. It looks like things are just flying here and there and all that. We're going to come into as we design how to properly space, how to properly align. But my goal for alignment I want to talk about is that alignment is arranging elements so that they line up clearly and consistently. If your elements are not aligned, your design feels unprofessional. Even if the color is perfect, the things you've done looks clean, if they are not aligned, they will not look professional. It looks like you are just tossing text or tossing buttons or tossing shapes around. So I told us a while back that when it comes to alignment, these buttons we have here. So I'm going to be speeding up because I've thought of all this before. These buttons you have there here happens to give you a clear guide as to how to align your elements that are on your screen. So if I want to align all of these together, I'll click on this first one and I will use the center align. Is aligned to the center. If I want to align it to the left, I'll use to the left. If I want to align it to the right, I use to the right. If I want to align it to the top, to the middle, to the down, bottom, whichever way. So now this, if I align this to the center, this also comes to the center. This also comes to the center. Now, I've been able to align all of my, what's it called? All of my elements to the center of the screen. If I want to align them to be right to each other, I click on 3 of them, I'll see align to the right. I will change this also alignment, my text alignment to the right. So you will notice what has happened here. My text are aligned to the right, text aligned to the right, button to the right. So if I was going to be doing right aligned information, I want my information to be aligned to the light, aligned to the right. You see how they are properly, it's readable rather than having things that are not aligned, just have your stuff looking funny and all that. So alignment is a very crucial part of your design process. You should learn to ensure that what you have packed up in your screen, your elements are aligned, they are centered where they need to be. The spaces are rightly distributioned if you are going to be using what's it called? Distribution spaces. Let there be proper space between each of them. So all of these buttons you have here, you can explore them at your own time. Gives you it helps you achieve all of that. It helps you achieve all of that. Okay. Okay, so I think let me just add spacing to it. Just like alignment, spacing is also a very fundamental part of your designs. Just like alignment helps you arrange elements so that they line up clearly and consistently. Spacing, on the other hand, is spacing happens to be the distance between elements in a design. The distance between elements. Spacing is what creates breathing room. Let me use that word. Without it, your design feels crowded. So let me show us this. Imagine this design being this way. I'll duplicate this in 2 places so that we would get to feel better there. Let me make it out. Copy to the other side. And to this one, let me add. That was a mistake. Right there. Just hold on. So I'm trying to add to both of them. Okay, so if you look at the 2 designs, if we are, let's take it back to what we have here. So if you look at these 2 designs, this looks crowded. The texts are almost like they're fighting with each other on who should gain more stand. But the one at the top happens to have spacing. If I click on these 2 elements, you'll be able to see the spacings that was given between them, 7 pixels. If I click the other one below, I'm able to see the amount of spacing that was given here, 31. So spacing is the distance between each element. And without spacing, the design looks crowded. It looks all together. It just looks like they are fighting each other. So while you're designing, just the same way when oh, have I removed that into your image? If you look at these designs from what we have here, for instance, these icons that are at the top, you see how spacings was given. Spacing. They are aligned to each other and spacing was given. Those are major things that we should consider in designs. If you look at these ones, these items that are shown on this stuff, you see item square rectangle with image in the center, rectangle, you see spacing. They are both aligned, they are the same length at the top, the bottom, and the spacing. Alignment, spacing. So what this does is that it brings a very beautiful harmony to your design. It makes your design clean, it makes your design readable. If you look at what we have here, you'll see how that texts are aligned to each other, aligned. And then you can see underneath this, you can see the amount of spacings that was given. See spacings, spacings, spacings. Even with these boxes, there are spacings in between them. Spaces here before you have this button here. So alignment and spacing is a very what's it called? It's a very interesting part of your design. So if your spacing is not consistent, let's use, for instance, let's look at this stuff that these guys did here. Let me use, we're going to create a rectangle and try to do what they have. So I'm going to cut the edges. I think it should be like almost 10 that was used. They have an outline. Okay. So I'm just going to take one. I'm just going to take one. So they have 4 of it. Let me duplicate this to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of them is shiny red. Let me just put that one that's red. It shows that that's the one that's highlighted. And then yeah, so if we look at this now, for instance, just give me a minute. Okay. Bring it to plain background. Yep. So if you look at what we have here, these are shapes. So I want to show us the reason why I say consistency matters. If we're to have this stuff to be used in a design and the user happens to use different spacings for the design, you just put the space here is not the same with the space here, it's not the same with the space here, or let's even say that the alignments to self are not even together. The things are just, what happens is that the design looks disorganized. You can't see a mobile application that stands out in the market that does not follow the rule of spacing and alignment. And having a consistent spacing. Now, let me explain better what I mean by consistent spacing. If you come back to this image you have here, you would observe that the amount of spacing used here from this to this is the same use from this to this, is the same use from this to this, is the same use from this to this. Every aspect that they have an element like this, they use the same kind of spacing so that the design does not look apart. There's like a synergy. They all look together. So while you were designing or were doing anything, always consider spacing and alignment. Equal spacing, consistent paddings, alignment, they are necessary, very necessary. So I think I'll stop here today. Tomorrow we'll have a glimpse again on layout. After layout, we'll proceed to typography and colors, where I would need to talk to us about having a good sense of color combination and then basically topography, how to be able to understand how to prepare text for your design, just as it's done here. And all of this seems like a magic to some of us. So how did they arrive at all of this? These names are consistent. You have display, you have headings, you have title, you have body, labels, link, buttons, all of these. They are consistent words that are used. These are font styles, font size, or what's it called? Yeah, the font types. Can either be using medium, regular, bold, italics, whatever it is. The major concern are the sizes. How do I know when to use 16? How do I know when to use 24? How do I know when to use 48? And how did it come about these numbers? It might happen that on your own design, while you're doing your own design, these numbers might be different. It's not a must that these numbers will be what it is here. So we'll take all of that up tomorrow. Until then, we'll stop here for today. Are there any questions just before we bring the class to a close? Any question?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, I have a little question on when you were duplicating the frames. I don't know
Okay.
if yes, in some app we use Control D to duplicate, or we use other means. How do you duplicate those frames?
Okay. It happens to be that there are some, I don't know if I'll call it rules now. There are some rules that are consistent across digital products. And those rules are some of those rules are what governs some of the primary command we give to computers, such as you want to save, shortcut for save, shortcut for copy, shortcut for paste. If you are working with a Microsoft Word, you know that if you want to copy, you do Control C. You do Control V to paste. You want to cut, you do Control X. All of those commands are like rules that are used across a good number of digital products. So, like you said, on the other application you're talking about, you use Control D. The same thing happens in Figma. We can also use Control D. I've done Control D, it has duplicated, but what happens in Figma is that what you duplicate is duplicated on top of the one that I've done. So if I now take this one and I shift it out, and I see that I've duplicated it a bit too. So if I duplicate again, Control D, and I click it and move it out, it's going to show. If I just click this one without duplicating and move, you see that that's the only thing underneath. If I click Control D and I drag it out, but now let's say I want to duplicate a number of frames. So let's say we create a frame here, and let me give this frame a color. Let's say I want to duplicate this frame 12 times. And instead of me clicking Control D, and then I will not drag it. Sorry, hold on. So instead of me clicking Control D, and when I duplicate, go back first. Instead of me clicking Control D and then just dragging, I've already inputted that command. Let me use something else to do it so that you understand. Sorry, hold on. Okay, so instead of me doing as I've done before, what I can do is that if I duplicate the first one and I pull it out, instead of going back to duplicate the first one, I can continue duplicating from this second one that I've done. I just keep clicking Control D. It follows the same spacing, the same element, the same spacing, the same alignment, and it just keeps going like that. Control D, Control D, Control D. So yes, in Figma, we use Control D. If I want to break the alignment that is used, and I say, okay, this one, I want to pull it down a little bit here. And I continue with Control D, Control D. Now, if you see, I pulled it down, automatically the alignment has changed. So it keeps duplicating, following the same command of what I've just done. I've breached out from this alignment, but the spacing is still consistent. I'm still using a consistent spacing. If I want to change the spacing, I'm going to expand this, take it out from the spacing, and I continue. Control D, Control D. Now, if you notice, it will continue using this alignment pattern that I've created. And now, because I've moved this, it now copied this spacing that I've imputed now. Control D. Yes, Figma use Control D to duplicate, but Figma happens to be smart with it, such that, as I explained to us about spacing and alignment, Figma is very keen to following any spacing and alignment prompt that you have provided. So anyhow you position the element determines how it's going to consistently duplicate that element. There's another way I can duplicate. I can click on my element and click on my Alt key. I can do this also. And if I don't want to duplicate, I just click on my element and I click on my Alt key. I can keep duplicating any file. I'll use my mouse, click on it, just hold my Alt key on my keyboard, and I can keep duplicating as much as I want. But if I'm doing it in this way, this is me duplicating it, but it's not a system-specific duplication. It's not as this other one where the system maintains my alignment and my spacing. For this one, I have the freedom to initiate any alignment of my choice and any spacing of my choice. Are we together, sir? Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Any other person, any question, please? Okay, so I want to believe there's no other question. That brings us to the end of this class. I look forward to seeing us tomorrow. It will be good for you to jump on your assignment. I said a previous class that once a good number of us have our assignments together, we'll compare what we have and look for them, how to take features from this person, take feature from that person, and use that to suggest how we will be building our application for the product that we're supposed to use as our test. I want to let us know that like I said in last class, we don't have so much time. This training ends in the month of May. It ends at the 3rd week of May. So we have 3 weeks to go. The quicker, that leaves us to 6 classes. We have 6 classes left. If we add what we have for tomorrow, that's 7 classes left. So how much of what you learn from those 7 classes is determined to you. It's determined by you. If I get slowed down as to not having to do a lot of, because now I'm still teaching. I was hoping that we're going to be doing in-depth practical exercises where you guys by now are supposed to be sitting on your computer building things yourself while I'm giving remark. Unfortunately, a lot of us has been laid back and not attending to these things. Just so you know, in 2 weeks' time, is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks' time? Yes, that's in our 7th class from now. We'll be at the end of this training, and I'll be looking forward to onboarding new students to take up with them. So that'll be all. See us tomorrow. Have a good night rest.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.